All right, we are live, save for a few technical challenges. One, Ken was hooking up the Instagram, and two, John's headphones from 1982 seem to have decided to stop working.
The Sixers won the next year, world champions.
Okay. And that is a long forgotten memory, and so should your headphones. And John and I are going to be together 1 week from today up in Philadelphia. So I'm going to take my Uncle John to get some new headphones together. There they go. Goodbye. Last time John and I were together, we got you. Well, this is not the last time, but one of the times we were together. We were in an airport in Monterey, and we got you a badass backpack. Cool Bunny. What is it called?
John,
Cool Bunny.
No, Psycho Bunny. You take care of me, man. You're always looking out for me. So I appreciate
Psycho
that.
Bunny.
Headphones,
Psycho Bunny.
good fashion, backpacks. And I sweated over that backpack forever. Like, should I do it? Should I not? And you were like, man, you only live once. And I'm so glad I did it. And you know how many compliments I get on that?
I bet.
People who say, what's up with the Playboy bunny bag? Or people who know, and they're like, that is a cool Psycho Bunny bag. So,
that's cool. And then, John, I forgot to tell you, Camila and I went shopping this weekend, and we got matching bracelets. Mine has a red ball, hers has a brown one, and your son is walking around Massachusetts, right, with one of these.
That's right. Well, actually, New Zealand. And he's on his school trip. He was in Nepal last year, New Zealand this year. When the school trip agenda comes, they come out and the itineraries. He kind of looks and he calculates what's the furthest he can get from home.
Yeah.
So last year it was Nepal. This year it was New Zealand. So safe travels to Benjamin Gamba.
Good for him. So today we're talking about turning feast into famine. Ready to turn feast or famine into predictable growth. And we're going to talk about that in 3 different ways. And you and I love the power of 3. So Those 3 ways are, first of all, one way you can do it is you can listen to us today, and we're going to have a bunch of tactics of getting those deals that are stalled or those people have ghosted you. We're going to get your input on that. Number 2, the doors on the Ed Sales Elevation Experience are closing tonight at midnight. Cohort number 10. We've got some fantastic people. We have a few slots left. And so those doors will be closing. And then we also have the Catalyst event that will be on June the 6th. And that's another way to move towards predictable growth. Those sound like 3 wonderful ways, hopefully. Yes?
Absolutely. All 3 of those are opportunities to engage, to connect, to collaborate. And I love this subject. This is a really great one, Josh.
Cool. Let's work backwards. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's start with the Catalyst event on June the 6th. Talk about first of all, how did this event come about? Because it's in year number 2. What have you guys got cooked up? And I can tell you, there is a contingency of Ed Sales Elevation experiencers who will be descending on this event. So we're super excited, but tell the rest of the world about the event.
Yeah, so it's June 6th, and it's interesting, Josh, because for a while, I've been here right around 6 years, and we constantly have discussed our strategic plan and our strategic vision. And one of the things that we did not want to do is to be an event organization. We wanted to be an entrepreneurial support organization that really provided self-paced standalone programs that entrepreneurs could engage in at their own time, at their own pace, on their own time, and especially during the pandemic, that could be administered and provided primarily virtually. But when we did our surveys and we reached out and we talked, we got out of the building and talked to the stakeholders who we were supporting, one of the things that they said loud and clear was that they wanted to engage and confer and have personal time and personal interactions with people. After the pandemic, people get really tired of bad headphones and ear infections and Zoom calls, and wanted to come together. And so last year we had our first annual Catalyst to Penn GSE Summit, mirroring our virtual accelerator with programming through the lanes of leadership, product, market, and fundraising. Rave reviews. People wanted to come back. We changed the program a little this year, and here we go. We are now focused on year 2. We are almost sold out, so please register if you haven't. It'll be on campus here in West Philadelphia at 3700 Walnut, in our new Penn GSE building with some really, really awesome speakers. So that's a little background, and we're super excited to hit year 2.
Such a wonderful event, such a wonderful building. So it's really wonderful being in that building. And anybody who's watching online, feel free to hop into the chat, tell us where you are, tell us about your business. Feel free to drop your LinkedIn profile, because a lot of us connect on LinkedIn. And feel free to message me directly, because I have a special discount for people who message me directly. One of the things I love about that story you just told, which is kind of how this event got going, is that you really took a page out of your book at Penn, my book at the Ed Sales Elevation Experience, and you just went and you listened to what people wanted. And, you know, you and I have experienced a few different times, and specifically at South by Southwest EDU, that people really do want to get together, and especially entrepreneurs in the education space. So you went out and listened.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's really important. It's not so much what we want to do; it's really what our stakeholders want to do. And we did hear loud and clear that people wanted to come together. People wanted to break bread. Some really great speakers at this event. You being one of them, Josh. Sharing your insights on lead generation and signature solution, and the incredible work you do with your customers and clients. But we also have Claire Zhao from ASU GSV, who will be speaking, Matt Tower from Whiteboard Advisors, providing a perspective on the market. Our good friend Doug Roberts from IEI, he'll be there. Ed Metz, who will be there talking about research to practice and what's going on at the Department of Education with the great SBIR program. So action-packed. Our great Dean, Catherine Strunk, will be there. Our Vice Dean, Michael Golden, will be there, all speaking about innovation and advancing research to practice, which is the secret sauce here at Catalyst at Penn GSE.
It really is. And I'm so excited. And I love this event because it's so packed. It's not extended, 2-3 days. You really have to take advantage of every single minute that you're there. So let's put a bow on Catalyst for now. Let's talk about how I have done a little bit of listening today. Rick, welcome in. Got to meet Rick a couple days ago. John, you and Rick should talk. Super, super good guy. Been in the space for a while. I invited him to Philadelphia, but not sure if he's going to make it from Chicago. But he said, you know what? I'm going to be here on Thursday. And so you and Rick should connect, and everybody in our audience should connect with Rick. He's been in ed tech sales. He is a leader, and he's really chill. So he fits right in with us.
Awesome. Hey, Rick.
This morning I was on a call talking to somebody who I'm pretty sure is going to take one of our slots here at the Ed Sales Elevation Experience. And we were talking about when literally the time it should start. I go between 10 o'clock Eastern and 1 o'clock in the afternoon Easterns when we start these things. And he said, well, 10 would work well. And I said, you know what? We're going with 10. So cohort number 10, if you can believe it, on June the 10th, will start at 10 a.m. Eastern. And I'm really excited about it, John, because we've got some companies that are really on the cusp of some very cool things. And they all have the same challenges that you and I know are: credibility needs to be boosted. Messaging needs to be sharper. The signature solution needs to be designed and developed and delivered well. And then we need to get out and do the type of lead generation that we believe in, which is consultative, which is an opportunity to listen, and then be there for people to help them. So I'm really excited for this to get going. Can you talk a little bit about what you're seeing recently? Because I know you look from the outside in on the ed sales elevation experience and why people should join who are potentially in positions where they need to boost the credibility, work on the messaging, and get that signature solution.
So I'm no numerologist, but 10. I mean, Pele, right? I don't know if there's any better 10. And I don't know if there's any better person that epitomizes those values that you just described. Sharpening your skills, ensuring your message is clear, making sure that you're into repeatable, predictable growth. One word just stood out besides thinking about the great Pele is standardization. When I think of feast or famine into predictable growth, I just had a great conversation with an ed tech mentee, Josh, and we talked about what is more desirable, 10 deals at 2,500 or 5 deals at 5,000. I'm going to pause there and see how you would answer that.
I am living this, John. I'm truly living this because I have continued to raise the prices on the ed sales elevation experience through a coach of mine who has given me the support to do that. And so we actually have less people signing up for the ed sales elevation experience, but it's a little more expensive and they are, I believe, more committed. So I believe less deals are better.
And I don't think there's a right answer because 5,000 for five deals or 10 deals at 2,500. The key that I would stress is standardization. That you can't have one person paying 2,500, another person paying 5,000, and playing let's make a deal. I'm always possessed in ed tech with this compressing of contact to contract. And when people say, "But I think we're worth more than that," I'm always saying, "How can you have a standardized price inside of this industry?" And building sales tend to be about $2,500, where you can repeat, you can systematize, you can standardize, and you can blow that out. Investors are going to look at time to from contact to contract, and they're going to say, is it 6 months to get a deal done at 5,000, or is it 1 month to get a deal done at 2,500? And can you repeat that without having to play discount bingo and do non-standard operations? Yeah. So I'm really big in that area, and standardization and really building around something that is truly repeatable.
Yeah, well, you've been watching the ed sales elevation experience grow and obviously help. Speaking of number 10s, I can think of my least favorite number 10. Wore a Washington Redskins uniform. Every time I open up Facebook, he's saying something, and that's Robert Griffin III.
Whoa! Wow. RG3.
Not my favorite number 10. But hey, as
I'm
Davey
so glad that you're still thinking about 10. That's
sorry, I heard everything else you said. But as Davey Martinez said, bumpy roads lead to beautiful places. Yeah. And that was for the Washington Nationals. That's in life. That's for the Washington Redskins, now Commanders, which I have developed a new feeling about them, which came from a guy I used to work with at the Redskins, Tom Kirchable, Tomcat. Tom said, at this point with Commanders, we need to accept it, but we do not have to embrace it. And so that is where I am. That is my new stance on the team. And by the way, I have season tickets.
Wait. Say that again.
I need to accept, but not embrace.
Oh, okay.
That's because the new Washington Post, in terms of the name, is not going away.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
The name is not going away.
That doesn't sound like the culture of the Commanders right now, because there's just so much hope that this team is built for speed and this team is built for excellence. So
go, baby. Let's go. Well, let's talk about.
I hear you on the name.
Those are the reasons I have to accept the name. Let's talk about some of the reasons why hopefully people will join the ed sales elevation experience. The doors close at midnight tonight, and we do have people who at 11:58 pull that trigger, and I get it. I'm not that type of buyer. I think you're that type of buyer. But when I see something, I just go for it because I know otherwise I'm going to go back and forth. You have to be in a stinking airport in Monterey to make a move like that. But here are some of the reasons that people, I think and hope, are going to join the Ed Sales Elevation experience. It is a repeatable sales engine that you need and you will get. We will not just give you tactics. We are going to conquer LinkedIn so that it converts for you. John knows I'm a huge, huge fan of LinkedIn. We've got to end that feast or famine cycle, especially before the summer. It's sinking in for everybody that summer is coming. I know the weather's changing up there. And we have our proven results, which, if you and I had talked about this, and we did years ago when I started the Ed Sales Elevation experience, the results weren't there. But at this point, more people are joining the Ed Sales Elevation experience because they are hearing from other people the success that they are having. And that's critical. And that's how other people really begin to trust what we do. Can you talk about that and how other people can relate that to their businesses and education, that it's not about your features, it's not about your benefits. I'm not going to discount those things, but when they hear from the success of other schools or other school districts, that really counts.
Yeah, I think so. I go back, so I spoke about standardization. I think repeatability is important. I think systematizing your process, which I think you and your clients do really well, hammering home that it's not just willy-nilly. I think it's important for some trial and error. I think it's important to go through a discovery process. But once you get it, I think repeatability and really honing that craft and really, doing it over and over and over again, 10,000 times leads to mastering a skill. I really do believe that. And I believe that one of the strengths of your process, Josh, is that layperson's terms. You make it clear what they should do without it being cryptic, without it being acronyms, without it being sort of buzzword bingo. You break it down simply, but you're also kind of hard on your clients and you ensure that they understand it works if you work it. Like if you deviate, or if you think that this is all going to come easy, especially in these times in education and education sales, education lead generation, it's really not. So I like how you break it down simply. I like how you hold people accountable, and I like how you're able to show success from others who have gone through it. I think those are all key values of the Ed Sales Elevation experience.
I appreciate that. You're hammering home really important points when it comes to systems. I can hammer home as well that I've heard from a lot of people, and this is tough, over the last week or so, who are in tough situations with their business, with their job in ed tech sales or education sales, and that they're really worried, especially with the administration and the way things are going. And so, I do really emphasize to them that I will support you, and this program, this community, this course will support you. If you put the work in, we'll get there, and we will work together until we get there. And that. So, like a good
people
producer,
helping people
helping people, like a good producer, I've timed this out nicely. We're at 11:20 Mountain Time. So, we've got about 10 or 15 minutes left, and we're going to transition to the third part of our conversation, which is really the roll up those sleeves and what can people do given that it is May 29th and schools are closing within the month. Are you hearing from people that they're trying to close deals now? What's the sentiment out there, especially as it pertains to funding, budgets?
Yeah, I think times are already tough, and this is a real tough time to actually get deals closed. But there are some opportunities out there where there's some use it or lose it money, right? Budgets kind of float over on July 1. So it is important not to be lazy or not to assume that people won't take your call. What can we do to get a deal done? What can we do to build on the last conversation we had? What can we do to reach out with one of those deals or those prospective clients where you were right there and you do a little bit of research and make some sort of a connection? Hey, I loved how you looked at the portrait of a graduate and you really focused on that at your graduation ceremony. We have a new portrait of a graduate application within our solution that I'd like to share with you. So making the connection, creating some personalization, I think those are all important tactics as we push to the end of most fiscal years for school districts.
I agree. Another thing, and you can
one more thing that I'll throw on there too, Josh, and that is empathy. Hey, I know it's been a tough year. I know that there's some tough times that we're facing in education. I know that things become less chaotic after the July 4th holiday, where you start going into some planning and getting ready for the new year. Can I get on your calendar right after that time period? So instead of waiting and trying then, maybe you can connect now and get on the calendar so you can be prepared then. That's another tactic.
I like that. I want to ask you about this other tactic that you have had some influence on, that I've talked to some people about at this time of year. You're the one who told me and taught me about, it's really nice to get a quick yes or a quick no. So what do you think about reaching out to people that you were potentially close to deals with, at least you thought so, saying something like, quote, I haven't heard back, guessing this isn't a priority, or you've gone another way. If so, no problem, let me know. If you're still interested but swamped, is there a time next week? So you're going to get that quick yes or that quick no from that email or LinkedIn to them. Is that kosher or is that pushy?
Read it again.
Haven't heard back, guessing this isn't a priority, or you've gone another way. If so, no problem, let me know. If you're still interested but you're swamped, can we meet next week?
Never, never, never. I would never say guessing this isn't a priority. Never invoke doubt. It's always a priority. There's no question whatever you're providing is a priority. I wouldn't put that in. It has a stint, or it has a hint of negativity, resentment. Mm-hmm. No, but I would say, haven't heard back from you. I know you're really busy, and this is a chaotic time of year. Still think that we can provide value, asset lens, not a deficit lens. No hint of resentment. Got it. Would love to get on your calendar. How does these times sound?
Gotcha. Okay. I'm cool with that. So we have to rework the quick yes, quick no.
No, I believe in quick yes and quick no. I just don't believe in hints of any negativity, lack of priority. Never.
What about offering them, given that time is tight, an opportunity for you to potentially sit down and fix one thing with them that they said was a challenge the last time you spoke? So kind of a mini strategy session, saying, you mentioned this was an issue. I know I can help you solve that. Would you have 20 minutes that we can hop on and maybe we can brainstorm and workshop that together? What do you think about that?
Love that, but I would punctuate or semicolon that with a always, can I share with you how XYZ has done it? Give them a reason to see that they're not the only one. Mm-hmm. Let me give you an example. Now, you have to be careful because you don't want to mislead or you don't want to oversell.
Always.
Toward the end of last year with Mount Diablo, they had some additional funding left over from the ESSER program. And what we did is we lined up a multi-year agreement for them with a discount. It's just a creative idea to really try to meet your needs to implement this product or service that we know has value. is that something that we can sit down and talk you through as a immediate next step?
Gotcha. So referencing how you can help, how it has worked, and potentially, you know, leveraging a current relationship, being careful not to just toss names around, but showing some credibility through that.
Exactly. How has it
Gotcha.
supported other surrounding other colleague districts?
Gotcha. Another thing that people can do, and we've been talking about this in our cohorts of the Ed Sales Elevation Experience, is just commenting, using LinkedIn and commenting, because when your perfect client is writing a post, if you're the first person to comment or you're up there and they see you, that to me is, I would say 10 times better, but I don't know if it's 10 or 100 or 1,000, than sending potentially another email. You're supporting them. You're recognizing that they've taken the time to put themselves out there on LinkedIn, and that goes a really long way. That takes practice. That takes practice. That
Yeah, I
takes
think so.
going to the LinkedIn gym every single day now, this time of year, and seeing who's posting. If those are people that you're tracking, that you're hoping to get back on their radar because they probably ghosted you for one reason or another that has nothing to do with you, but they're busy, which we know, or they've got competing priorities. And if you are able to hop back into their lives via LinkedIn, that's a nice way of reigniting that conversation. Have you ever had anybody do that with you?
Well, first of all, I do it, and people do it with me. I think being front of mind is great. I would say succinct, genuine / authentic, and pithy. I would be hesitant with long comments, long shares, but see if you can be personal, authentic, genuine, succinct, and pithy. It's so
Pithy.
interesting. One of my mentors, pithy, Pithy. Uh, One of my mentors coached me that when you're going into a speaking engagement, be clear, be quick, and be gone. I think that's a pretty good piece of advice for people who are going on LinkedIn. So get in the gym, constantly do it, be repeatable, but don't be droning on and on.
You're right. It has to be that way. Let's talk a little bit about what people can do to get in touch with you. I was reminded that because I've been looking at some of our shows, and as we get towards the end of each show, John, I think that we wrap up and we rock and roll out, and we don't necessarily, even though we are available to people, we don't necessarily say what's the best way to get in touch. And you and I would love to help people and always be in touch. So I thought I'd give you the mic here today to say what's the best way to get in touch, and then please also give another plug for the Catalyst event.
Yeah. So best way, easiest way, quickest way, John Gamba LinkedIn, right? I'll follow your script. So connect with me, and in the connection, drop me a message saying how you heard, how we're connected. We're connected through Breaking the Grade. We're connected through Ed Sales Elevation. We're connected with a common connection to Josh Chernikoff. That's number one. The other one is consultations. I do one-on-one consultations. So it's calendly.com/John Gamba, and you'll see multiple ways to connect with me one-on-one through half-hour mentoring sessions. I always like to say it's never one and done. It's always a to be continued. I like to ask a lot of questions. I like to learn from those who I'm meeting with. And then sometimes I provide homework, and I ask for homework. How can I help you? And then we volley back and forth on ways that we can connect and support. That's number one. June 6th again. If you want a discount code, Josh will share that with you. We are so excited to welcome some VIPs, including yourself, Josh. And I'd also just say, really strongly considering the Ed Sales Elevation Experience. You won't be disappointed. You'll cohort 10. Maybe I'll just end with this. My least favorite 10s. Eli Manning, Tyreek Hill, and Chipper Jones.
Wow.
Hate them.
Go through that.
Walt Frazier, solid.
Yeah. You're showing your true Philadelphia colors there. NFC
Right.
East, NL East is a lot.
Doubleheader today. Chipper Jones, right? Doubleheader today with the Bravos. We gotta take them down. Wheeler on the hump tonight. It'll be really great. All those Atlanta fans out there, I'm sorry, can't stand them.
Yeah, that's tough. For them with Zach Wheeler.
Boy Harper, elbow. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, and our great coach said it was an accident. We're not going to throw it back at him. So I kind of like that.
Yeah, totally. Well, I will return the favor for people. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. Happy to help. One of my relationships in the Ed Sales Elevation Experience, one of our first, started with our mutual friend Catherine from Go Pursue, and she came to one of our events online. And we started working on her headline for LinkedIn just through LinkedIn Messenger together. And so lots of great things can happen through LinkedIn. I hope people are thinking about the Ed Sales Elevation Experience now or down the line. We'll be here. We're ready to help when the time is right. We will help you build a repeatable system when it comes to lead generation. John and I haven't talked about this, but 1 week from today, there's a chance that we could do this show side by side in Philadelphia from the home office. I'm picking up a car, truly. So that might get in the way. But otherwise, maybe we could try and do this thing side by side. It'd be interesting how we position the camera, but we're good with breaking things.
That's right. And by the way, Catherine's love Go Pursue, but there's a lot of great Catherines out there. Catherine Cavanaugh. Right?
She's going to be at the event.
She will. So let's see if we can get 10 Catherines to our event. If we can do that, I'm buying drinks for all 10 of them.
And me.
Well, yeah, that's a given.
Okay. That's fair enough. Listen, man.
Maybe we'll
good
change
to
your
see
name,
you.
Catherine
I'll take
Chernikov.
it. I've been called worse. We have a Camila Chernikov, obviously.
There you go.
So thank you for joining today. I know you're running around. You guys are getting ready for this amazing event. I'm so excited for it. I am giving out that discount code to every single person I see on the streets here. Granted, there's not a lot of people on the streets here at this golf course I live on here in Mexico, but people are DMing me. Heather Walter will be joining. She's in our current cohort. Paul King will be there. Eric Bressler will be there. There's a few other folks from the Ed. Catherine Cavanaugh will be there. So we'll
excited to see them all.
Yeah, totally. Thank you for joining. See you in Philadelphia. Everybody, I was reminded by our audience to let people know how they can connect with us. Now they know. And if you want to see us in person, come to Philly. Let's hang. Thank you, everybody.
AMF. Adios, my friend.
Could have gotten nasty right there. Hasta luego.